And then go ahead and share the screen with me too, so I could jump on.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, cool. Ooh.
Hold on. Chasing.
She should be.
Hold on, Chasing, sinking in, Tierney. We're gonna be detailed on this one, Gary. This is where it all started, right here on the whiteboard. Everything
MindMap.
starts on a whiteboard, right?
Yes, sir.
So, Tammy and, Zach, Chasen, I don't know if Tierney's on here yet, but we also have Sarah and Alicia on the line. One handles, Gary and I assisting on the recruiting side, making calls, follow-up calls, managing our calendar, setting appointments, like whatever, kind of like everything kind of outbound and making sure like we're staying on task with stuff. She does the data management, updates the CRM and stuff like that. Alicia is working in CRM Grow with the team in Canada. They just got a home under contract up there too, so congratulations, you guys needed that win. So good job. And then, with some of the things that I have going on in Wichita, I was waiting for some of the changes and, had to come to an agreement with another partner here, but, she'll be kind of supporting and helping that team a little bit as well. And those are the other two people on here. Zach's out of Florida. You want to say hi, Zach?
What up, Zach?
Hey, man, what's happening?
Yep. So got to meet Zach at Build for the first time. He's through Gerbig's line. We got Chasen on here. You want to say what's up, Chasen?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah.
Morning, Chasen.
What's up? Tierney, are you on here yet?
Not yet. I don't see her.
All
No,
right.
she sent me until she gets on.
All right. And then we got, Tammy here out of Minnesota with Grant Johnson, runs a fantastic team up there. She comes with a lot of, life experience, background deep in real estate. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do. The waiting room says in the waiting room, we'll let her in. And so these are the players on here. And then Tierney, guys, has been with me a while. She's out of the same market as Chasten. She's the one who introduced me to Chasten a few years back. Chasten and her obviously running with me is, a game changer. She has like right under 600 agents or so. You guys, if you guys follow Chasen at all, you guys know he's having a huge impact around the education and video game or video with you on YouTube. You might as well be like a game, right? At this point, Chasen. It's like, and runs a team, also an entrepreneur, does a lot of other businesses up there. And so a lot of you guys have been asking me the same question in the last week. And so I spent some time with you guys. However, I punted a little bit. Hopefully you guys could understand. So something that I already gave up time explaining kind of the front half and what needed to happen, why why we needed to do this, what is going on. The second part of it was getting everybody together to be a little more efficient here. And this is the time Gary and I meet, to look at our business. So I thought this would just be a good time for us to go through in detail what we've been working on, like some feedback from you guys, but it's definitely a machine gun for sure. And so Gary, I'll let you kind of take it over from here.
Yeah, no worries. What up, everyone? What up, you guys? Yeah. Hey, so where I want to start is like Chasen, Tierney, Zach. I know everybody has their kind of their own approach. I know Chasen, you're killing it with social media, and you got some other platforms that you're generating business, for agent attraction. So this here was designed for what we have in place, and we can revise it, we can alter it, but Adam and I, we got together and everything starts with a mind map, right? So I wanted to put it on a mind map where we could share and kind of draw out the details. So for us, it's high volume. So we actually have a third party called Smart Setter, where we gave them the avatar, and right now we're in the Canada market, and so they're doing sniper shots up in Canada for us and teeing up the first appointment. So that first appointment is put on my calendar by Smart Setter, and it's called the intro call. And that intro call, and the reason I'm going over this is because the way we have CRM Grow set up was based on how this flow chart flows out, rolls out, okay? Because there's no sense of setting up CRM Grow and then have to redo it based on how the actual flow works. So they set up a Smart Setter appointment. I do the first call. The first call is about 10-15 minutes max, unless I just get someone who's really intrigued and they start asking a lot of questions. And then I may stay on the phone for 30-45 minutes, but on an average it's about 10-15 minutes. So Smart Setter sets up appointment, and then we write out all the details. They send me a "you've been booked" with the name and number and appointment time of the agent, okay? And then I send them out an intro video saying, hey, I just got a appointment booked, look forward to meeting you. Very generic. It's not a personalized one, just because there's just not enough time to really respond, because what these guys do is they usually call Mondays. So Mondays we usually just get bombarded, or I get bombarded with text messages saying, hey, you've been booked, hey, you've been booked, hey, you've been booked. So it's just easier for me to copy and paste and send out a generic message. Now we have it to the point where Sarah actually sends out the message from CRM Grow, because just recently, well, I say a few months ago, they got our API key. And so now those new appointments pop in CRM Grow. So when they pop in CRM Grow, Sarah sends out the video. So then Smart Setter sends a reminder text, say, hey, you got an appointment today, an hour early, in advance, a notification. And then we have the intro call. So the intro call is the call I was just talking about. It's a 15-30 minute call. This call, I was mistaken. This call is the intro call for Smart Setter. This is my first call here, which is a 10-15 minute call. And then
So
way,
hold on, Gary, hold on. Let's break that down though. What are you introing to? What did they agree to? And so help these guys understand that, like, that action that they're taking towards.
yeah, so Smart Setter sets appointment saying, hey, let's do this. Let's go to, okay, so this is what it looks like when Smart Setter sets an appointment. Okay, they've kind of been slacking on the questions. I gave them a list of questions, additional questions to ask, but basically the primary thing that Smart Setter gets from them are they open to hearing more information from another real estate company. Okay, so they give us the details. Here's a name, here's a brokerage, here's a phone number, years in business. Some of these VAs don't fill this out as good as others, okay, but this is what basically I get, okay? And so that's placed on my calendar. So they agree to talk to me, which we represent Adam Bailey's listing network. Okay, so when that time comes, I give them a call, and that conversation is just doing the fact finding. And that conversation.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the fact finding, really not so much, if they're going to be interested in other companies, for sure, that's part of it. But one of the questions and keywords is missed opportunities in their business.
Right.
Are they, maximizing tech? Are they, leveraging everything in a modern way? Do they think that they, have any blind spots in their business, or, and so they're asking them these questions, kind of like a survey approach, if you will, to the point where they're like, well, what is this? What's this about? And then they kind of plug us, if you're open-minded to talking to another top producer. So when they get on the call with Gary, even after they get through with Gary, because Gary's, been doing this a long time, and it's they still don't know if I'm selling coaching, if I'm trying to recruit them, or if we're selling an event, or if I'm even in real estate or what's going on, but they're definitely still interested a little bit, you know what I mean? Or like at that point, they're trying to figure it out. And and when we get to this other part, I'll tell you the pros, the cons, and the different things that we've had to figure out and test, because keep in mind, we're pointing this gun in Toronto, Canada, right? But the thing that I really wanted to outline there was not just calling, are you interested in, looking at another company to be recruited, but they're taking the angle in terms of production or missed opportunities.
Yeah. So my call, that's what I saw. That's what when I say fact finding, I gather intel from these agents about, simple questions, basic questions. How long you been in real estate? What's your production look like? What would you do in 2021? Would you do in 2022? Are you on pace to get your goal? And then you're working with buyers or sellers, real basic fundamental questions, but that leads me to the bigger questions of those missed opportunities, right? And so like someone may say, well, I deal with a lot of buyers, but I want to be a listing agent. Okay, well, do you have a listing presentation? Do you have anybody on your team that does 100 listings a year? Those type of questions where I kind of poke my hole in those pain points to generate a compelling value proposition, right? And then I don't really, like Adam's saying, this call is basically for to see what those missed opportunities are. And then I close out with, hey, well, that's awesome. It seems like you're doing really well and you have these missed opportunities. So what I like to do is set up a Zoom call with my business partner, Adam Bailey, and, we'll get together and we'll go over your business model and we'll address some of those pain points with immediate solutions, short-term and long-term. And then get their commitment to the Zoom call. And if it's a hot agent, I'll say, hey, you know what? Let me take a chance here. Adam is pretty busy. So let me see if he's available and get him on the call. And then I'll do kind of a pre-discovery call and get Adam on the phone and say, hey, Adam, this is, Mr. Smith. He's with blah, blah, blah. Kind of do a recap, and then Adam introduce himself, kind of start building rapport, and then we'll book the next appointment. Okay. So this appointment is basically just to kind of see what level agent we're dealing with, what the missed opportunities are, kind of what their short and long-term goals are, and if they have an open mind to, look at a different model. Now, I will say this, the climate in this market has changed. We're getting from where before we wasn't really talking about EXP in the model, but now these agents, as you guys know, are struggling. There's a lot more pain points. So we're getting to the conversation of EXP quicker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot quicker. So, in the beginning, we were very rarely sending out the video on the first call. I think now, Sarah, almost every call, we get to the point where, they're interested. They want to hear some options. They got some pain points. So I follow the script, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna send out the video of our model. What do you know about EXP? What have you heard? And they'll tell me what they've heard. And if that common denominator comes up where, hey, it's a multi-level marketing, blah, 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 I kind of address that and say, hey, obviously it was explained to you. I apologize. Obviously it was explained to you incorrectly. However, revenue share is a revenue pillar, but that's not our primary focus. EXP has so much to offer. That's just one revenue pillar that we offer. So when you watch this video, write down the things that, that intrigue you, your top 2, top 3, and then we'll discuss those. And so that's been working out. And then I keep the one thing. And if their pain point is they want more business, then hey, this video is really just going to give you a overview of EXP. However, I just want to keep it on the forefront that your primary focus with EXP and our network is production. We're going to show you how to get that next deal, the next 2 deals, the next 3 deals, because right now you're only doing 6 deals a year. How do you get to 7? How do you get to 8? How do you get to 12? How do you get to 24? We're going to show you how to do that. Right. So that's the one thing I want you to focus on. So I kind of leave it like
guys, and that might not seem like big numbers to us, and you're probably like, what the hell? But up there in Canada, like doing 7 deals is a big thing. Doing not a big thing, but it's like, $1 million home. So that means you're doing, $1 million, like it's crazy. So, when your average sales price is $1 million, they can kind of get away with that. So, that's kind of big, finding the people that do 15 to 25, we might kind of be like, oh, that's kind of cool, but those are bigger results up there.
Right, absolutely. So then, the next step is, and this is where CRM Grow comes into place, because the way the funnel works is you have to disposition.
But let's take a step back. I want to break down some of this stuff very, very importantly, like what we learned
Okay.
through some of these steps, because it wasn't like, oh, just this, and this. So, sending that video out within 5 minutes is essential. Like we always hear with buyers, right? Like we got to call them sellers, right? Within 5 minutes. Now, when I was doing this and, wiring this up, and building this database a little before Gary came on, and then launching it right when he was starting, he kind of was threw into all of this stuff, right? Right from ground zero with a bunch of other things going on. Now, I wasn't sending the video out and doing some of the systems that, they suggest, because they do some coaching around this and some other stuff as well, with their call center, like the CRM Grow and a lot of this other stuff tied in with it is not their stuff. We just, pulled some stuff together to execute it the way that it needed to be done. And so I started noticing, a higher volume of canceled appointments that they were setting. So we got to keep dialing in the avatar and work with them on, their questions and, different things like that with their call center. But when I noticed, when I actually did the video, because they want you to send it out like one off, right? Like, hey, this is Adam, and I agree with it. What's up, Gary? So it's very optimized, but we get into a lot of that stuff later on in the actual database part, and it'll sound powerful for sure. But how we're doing this, it is automated. So Gary gets them that video, but when the video was me, they're already booked on the calendar. They're on the calendar. The ISA put it on our calendar, whatever it may be. I would show up and they wouldn't be there, and it'd still be on the calendar. At least when they see me in this short little video, or Gary in the video, because I shoot a video too on the discovery call, even on mine, they're at least respecting it enough to go in there and cancel. And then, Sarah's done a good job of it where we're not wasting a lot of time. Like I know if they're going to be there or not. I don't show up normally to a call thinking, very seldom do I think someone's going to be there and they're not there. They self-select their way out. And then, Sarah's obviously done a good job at that, but that video helps with these 2-step videos, and us incorporating them in there. So don't overlook them in terms of welcoming them and stuff like that. And then Gary said, hey man, like, why don't I just call and introduce them real quick if you're not on a Zoom or whatever, just to say hi and see if that helps boost our show up and confirm ratio to the, get that to that third step. And I was like, all right, let's do that. So, he's creating the curiosity and, positioning and edifying and doing whatever. And so they're on, that's their second step towards this. And he'll call me and boom, we try to just keep it under a couple minutes. I ask them some questions. You get them like, hey, Gary, just let me say hi, tell me a little bit, boom, like 2 questions max. And then I just drop like kind of my opinion. I kind of already have a basic understanding because Gary will give me just some quick highlights before he flips over. And then, so the curiosity is there, my voice is there, my tonality. And then with the video, it has been helping, and so like these things might seem small, but like they were big to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what it's doing is, I always say that you got to maximize each opportunity. And, the videos are definitely maximize the opportunity. And just that one little tweak of making that intro call, that small intro call with Adam, is maximizing the opportunity. Because now, these agents are like, number one, they're hearing Adam Beatty's Listening Network, because that's how I introduce myself, to how Smart Setter is. And so when I say, hey, I'm gonna get Adam on the phone, I know he's busy, but let me just check and see. And there's been a couple of times where he hasn't been busy. It is what it is. But there's been a lot of times where he's got on the phone, and these agents are like, sure, yeah, I'll talk. I'd love to meet Adam. So that works. So that little tweak right there is already starting to plant that seed and build rapport.
The thing is, guys, even the hardest thing for me to do when I was doing both of the calls, Gary's call and my call, I was doing the intro or strategy call, discovery call, or intro call, is keep it in under, they want you to keep it under 5 minutes, but to really do it the way that I think it needs to be done, with what Gary's saying, needs to be extracted. And then we can use that data in our database later, even if they don't move on to my call. It's very important, for sure. And you know, that 15-minute mark with him is important, or even wait, like less. And then when he calls me, or if you guys do this, it's like, I'm going to end the call. Hey, I got to go. Like, man, I was so excited, you know, that I was able to ask you some questions. Sounds like you got a great thing going on. And then boom, like out, you know, it's like, don't keep it going on with them.
Yeah, and then Adam, you usually say something like, well, I know Gary has the next appointment scheduled with you, and so I look forward to seeing you.
Yep.
So we confirmed that next appointment. So yeah, it's so we definitely had to make some revisions here to maximize each of those opportunities, because we started seeing a lot of leaks and missed opportunities in our pipeline.
Well, we got a spreadsheet that we built, a couple different spreadsheets around some of this stuff, and even the rev share that, Jason's on here that's been building them. And, I'm willing to work with a few of you guys once we get these all officially built, to go through some of these things. But
yeah, I just want to, and I'm glad you brought that. I just want to show it real quick, because we this helps us, right? Because we can see that, this is Smart Setter right here, right? And they're right around, in May they dropped. Okay, they were doing strong, about 30% show rate. May they dropped, and I called the sales rep. We put a meeting together. I said, "Is this company wide? Is this just with us? What's going on?" He said, "No, it's been company wide. Our show up rate has tremendously decreased." So I said, well, let's change the approach and maybe ask some more questions. So right away, it shot back up to 24%. So now we're right about that 20% show up rate, which, it gets the job done. It's not great, but it gets the job done. So like on our calls, like once we set the discovery call, and this is a good number, we have a 90 to 80%. So now the people that are opting in, they're showing up to that second call, that third call. And then here's Sarah taking the no shows that don't show up, and she's rescheduling those first calls. And then here's your show up rate. So they're showing up after that second touch, right? So they may not show up on the original Smart Setter call, but then when she calls and say, hey, you missed an appointment, and then she puts her spin on it, she's having she's really shot up in percentage. She went from a 40 to 70 down to about 60, then 60. Now she's at, well, there's only one this month so far, 100%.
Every step of the way, we've had to make adjustments to this funnel to get it to fill up, and we've got it filled up, and it's about to bust at the bottom. But you'll see it as we get going.
Yeah, I'll show you kind of where we're at right now. What's on the funnel? Okay,
let's
so
let's get through the
yeah. So if they, here's back to that graph chart. So if they didn't show up, then Sarah calls to reschedule, puts it on my calendar, and then updates CRM Grow. If they did show up to the intro call here, okay, my goal is after I talk to them to set up a discovery call, and that discovery call is myself, Adam, and the agent, and the whole purpose of this call is to give them some deliverables and give them a takeaway and kind of identify their missed opportunities, and to kind of do some more Q&A about their business. And then we may get into, modern teams versus, traditional teams. We may get into EXP, or we may not. Just depends on the agent. I mean, it's amazing, some of these agents' mindsets, because we've got on some of these calls and we've showed agents how they could save $90,000 a year, and we just couldn't move them to the next step.
Well, we had to build a spreadsheet with the way that they process numbers up there in Canada. I mean, we just had the way that they think, the way that they consume content. We couldn't follow our normal systems, and I can explain, why on another call. But we had to redo the way that we delivered and showed them information in the right order, and had to build a specific spreadsheet around it to make it more visual for them.
Yeah. So we definitely had to change our approach on that, because like Adam was saying, they have a different way of calculating numbers up there just because of
They will just shut down. They see
Yeah.
something because trust is already an issue back with Americans. And
right.
you know, it's the hardest market to actually build and recruit in. I was told I could never get going up in that market anyways. And so here we are, you know, 3 years, 4 years later, building into it. And, you know, it's been, and I've spent money up there, and I've traveled up there. And so there's an investment. I'm not going to say it's been easy, but when you're talking about a melting pot in a very diversified community, it's like, how do the Indians think? How the Persians think? How the Chinese think? How the, you know, like it's crazy, you know? And so, but we're learning it and we're getting in. Like, yeah, I see a lot of our Indian people there in Dallas, man, they're fired up. You know what they know how to speak? Math. You know what they know how to speak? Numbers. And so it's like, when they've seen that 80%, before they got to the cap or whatever on the videos, they shut down 80%. Everything's a 95 norm up there, or 90-10 norm, you know? So it's like, what are you talking about? I'm out. Whoop. Cause they don't know what
Yep.
caps are. You start talking
Right.
about caps or other things. They're like, what is that? And it's foreign.
Right.
So like, we're going to lead with it. Hey, what do you pay? You'll never pay us more than this. Cause they don't care about the value, and they've been oversold leads and ripped off. And it's a very like, you know, I don't trust you, shiesty world up there, and nobody delivers, or they don't think anyone delivers. That's for sure. But
Yeah.
and so, you know, understanding the psychology, definitely, you know, the different ethics and respecting cultures and things like that. And plus being an American and all the stuff that we faced up there. And so we can kind of get into that, guys. Here in the next week or so, we're going to start driving these people to the live event. We're in with Sprint Series just kicked off. And for you guys that's been around like Tierney and, Chase, and it's like, you guys know that we'll present our own stuff, you know, 4 times out of the year. And so in the next week, I have almost all the slides done and redid that I've been working on over the last couple months to kick off for this Sprint Series. Recruiting season officially kicked off, and the time is now. And so we'll be presenting our own stuff. And that's going to help us too, driving them to a live presentation, hearing the person speak that, you know, that just got edified, or seeing other people on there that's getting them on the calls, whether it's Tierney's group or you name it, Chasen's group or whatever. It's just powerful. So we'll be kind of getting back to that stuff, because even getting these guys tied down to a serious Zoom call, well, it's not even serious. It's serious in their mind, but it's not that serious, right? And so even getting them more in a group setting, or their belly to belly, oh, just let me know when you're back in Toronto. That's why we're going to kill it with our next group up there. We have so many people just waiting for the next event up there, because they know we're running events and doing things like that. But the group stuff, I think they're gonna be a lot more receptive to it. So we'll be able to drive them there as well. But the way that we've been able to show them content has definitely been interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we booked a discovery call. That discovery call is myself, like I said, Adam, and the agent. And then from there, we put together deliverables. If they show, and we go through our session. If we have the intro call and they didn't want a discovery call, then we let CRM grow. We hit them with the warm CRM grow automation, and I'll show you guys that. And then Sarah calls them, I call them, just kind of follow up, try to reestablish a connection, and kind of try to troubleshoot it, find out their whys and pain points and why they don't want to move forward.
And off that CRM automation, realistically, as we keep building this out, it won't just be a CRM grow automation. It's really going to be, we've already extracted a lot about their business. They've told us about their business. We're providing, hopefully some value or thoughts, or positioning ourselves within that call to get them to take us up on our offer invitation for the discovery call with myself. So that's where we start to plug in the data or the notes into CRM Grow. And depending if they're a team, top franchise, middle, low producer, or whatever, then that's the type of information that they're really going to be receiving off of where they're trying to go next. And if you guys know anything about the 8 stages of growth with me and wonder how all these people are growing so fast, it's following those principles and those steps, right? And so if we know that they're, in the, we'll just say the hustle stage and, what's it take to get to the growth stage, right? or the entrepreneur stage. And so it's like, we know what problems, what pain, the people that they're going to need, the investment, all of that stuff. And so then we're going to start to want to deliver, the videos and the education and stuff around those stages, to be able to be like, well, that's interesting. Well, they're speaking right to my pain. Man, I could surely like use more information about that instead of it just being random and it hits home or doesn't hit home. And so making sure that it's like very
Relevant.
like A, B, and C, similar to like our buyers. Some could go in, we'll just say a nurture or a watch, or we could be calling it a C lead, but you and I know that there's about 3 different C leads or 3 different nurtures, or a couple different hots. And so like all this stuff, we're having to build out, and as we're curating the content and doing it, we're able to one-off still send it to them, especially if, Gary is like, man, like they're right here, but this is their problem. And then I can shoot some very specific optimized content that's relevant, that screw the automation, screw, these long webinars. I get right to it off of the information that Gary passes on to me to get them to re-engage, or I'm going to have to handle these objections on the phone anyway. So, I'm spending 10 or 15 minutes and I'm giving it my best shot, but it's me talking directly to them, their limiting beliefs, their thoughts, maybe their pain points, all of that stuff. But we'll kind of get there here in a minute, but it's important that you're doing like an intake form to them and getting them the right information that's just slightly above where they're at in their growth stage.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's why that growth stage, that chart, is so important, because if that's their disposition, then you want to give, like Adam's saying,
let's pull that up for the people that haven't seen it yet, just in case.
yeah, I was just trying to find it. Let me see. Let me go here.
Most of us that grew up in the same masterminds, or, definitely the last, 10 years or so running together. We all, and especially the ones of us that had to build teams, past 300 closings, per year. I mean, it's like we've had to do all of this stuff right here to go from that solopreneur to that grower.
Secret. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I put them two normally together in my mind, but it definitely the visual break them out. But
Yeah.
when I'm actually on the phone with someone and I'm asking them questions about their business, and then I started talking about the pain, or hey, you probably only got one assistant or whatever, they're like, yeah, and it's like, like, how do you kind of know this stuff? And it's like, we like, this is what we do. You know what I mean? Like, we wasn't special, you're not special. You're gonna have to go through all of these different fundamental, like, foundational principles if you're going to grow a business. I mean, you can't spend the money, you can't just outsource everything. Like, you're really going to have to do it. And so when you're hopefully building your training or your videos, you'll have things that can kind of ramp them up to at least the leadership stage or the entrepreneur stage, to be able to say, I can get you from, those 7 deals. Cause right now it's very elementary with what we're talking about up there in Toronto, guys. I'll just be frank, but they don't understand lead acquisition costs. They don't understand lifetime value of a client. Their database could be an Excel spreadsheet or some type of CRM that doesn't even email out. They're on a lot of referral and repeat business, very hyper local niche in their neighborhoods or communities, and different things like that. So they might do some farming or some mailings, and different things. And so I had to dumb down my communication. I'm used to speaking about database management, internet lead conversion, and marketing, just obviously at the level that I'm at and the people I get to talk to and associate with and look at problems and solve issues with. And I told Gary, there was a chart where there's an exchange of value for a lead. Not all leads are just leads, right? There's a lead. If you want to go buy a lead or whatever, you could say that's cold directory, 13 cents, 2 cents, 1 cent, right? Or it's like, okay, now we called that data, we paid for labor, we scrubbed it. There's, labor, follow-up, everything, lender involved, overhead. Okay, now we have, maybe a live transfer. that value in exchange of time has definitely gone up. And it's like, what is that worth to you? Because it's worth something. And then, okay, and it goes up even higher from there. You know, there's an appointment set, right? Like what's that worth? And then there's a higher exchange of value if they're pre-approved or pre-qualified, you know, already, and you're meeting them on the buying side, or, you know, they filled out a listing questionnaire and, you know, they're not upside down, they're willing and able to sell. Both parties are going to be there, and, you know, they're qualified on the listing side and they're set on your calendar. What's the exchange of value there? You know, for that. And so the way that they understand marketing and leads and all that stuff, I think when it sounds the same to them, they don't know how to differentiate where the real value is at. And so breaking it down in a very elementary way, and assuming that they don't know anything, like I'm like, they're a brand new, I don't care if they've been in the business 10 years and doing 25 deals or whatever. I mean, it's, so the marketing piece is definitely what they're missing up there. And so being able, you know, to show them things like all of my new cool stuff that I've been designing and redesigning, all of that stuff is almost done. And I've been flashing it and showing it off on these calls. And I mean, they're excited, you know, and they want to get their hands on it, but it's like, how do they use it? Right? How do they position it? And a lot of these guys need to really be on a team, but their ego is so big, and the way that they look at leads and splits is definitely interesting. And so being able to have that conversation from 7 deals to 25 is what we're focused on. But, you know, here in the States or whatever market you guys are focused on, you know, really having that, you know, finding that person that is right below an icon agent, and how do you get them to become an icon agent? You know, I spoke to a lady yesterday out of Virginia, and she was at 27 deals last year. She already hit 27 this year. She $500,000, you know, what she's charging 2.5%, you know, percent. So, you know, I had the spreadsheet, and, you know, I would pull it up, you know, right now if I had it, but let me, Gary, go in the drive and just hit the spreadsheet. Her numbers are probably still in there. And granted, she's not Canada, but we built this spreadsheet just for Canada. And I know we have other sheets like that.
What sheet is that?
The actual cost sheet, and it breaks down every dollar indirectly. And so when we get them on a call right here, this is where they get confused. It's like they understand the marketing, but then you get into you can't pitch EXP yet. And that sheet's what Tierney needs too right there. But I'm gonna run my numbers through it. I moved it for me up under my priorities, you know, but
I think I have it somewhere.
so right there it is. It's the cost.
Yeah,
So, all right. So the thing is this is right here at this point in time is where we were plugging the modelexplain.com. And we thought that we provided and positioned enough value, saw enough value, and there's enough vision there, right? But for an example, it could be too good to even be true. Even to us, it's like, wow, I can't believe you're not taking action. And let me tell you, when I knew that I had a trust issue and we had to prove math like nobody's business. In the same week, maybe same 10 days, I had a guy that this is his third call, maybe fourth call before he's on the call with me, because he spoke with Gary maybe a couple of times, Sarah, Smart Setter. He's running a brokerage, and they've got me in front of some ballers. They have, and then they've got us in front of some duds. But early on, just like any of us with agent attraction, when we're new, we mess it up. We squander relationships, and we were squandering, and we messed this up a lot trying to figure this out, because it wasn't like following the building an empire system. It wasn't like, you know, recruiting up there to get them to come to an event where I could drop some value. They get to see I'm real, go to dinners, get deals done. You know, I'm getting edified by people, you know, like actually in the room and stuff like that. And so like we messed some stuff up, and I can remember that this guy, I was saving him, if he didn't do anything else with the brokerage he owned, $400,000. 400,000. And that was being conservative with the numbers that I was running through my head, and and then he didn't move on to the second meeting, or that next meeting with me. And then he couldn't get on Zoom. And so it's like, if you can tell me you can save me $4,000 in my business, or there's another opportunity of value that I could provide to my agents, I will at least look at it. it would be irresponsible not to. And that's what I told this gentleman. And he's like, ah, blah, blah, blah. And then so Gary was like, oh, I'm gonna send you the video still and all this other stuff. I said, no, we're not. We don't chase business. If this is what his stance is as a business owner, I'm not here to sell him. It's like, you'll be lucky if like someone is willing to spend time with you, to save you money and do this for you. Cause it's like, it just take a takeaway, a negative reverse is what I hit him with, And so, and then the next week we have a guy that is closed one house all year long, and COVID hurt his business. And he definitely needs to sell more houses. He definitely is interested, but we're generating leads up there. We have an ISA, we're setting appointments, we're doing stuff. He saw, and he seen the database, see how many leads we have coming in, seen what's up. However, he still didn't join and he didn't hop on the team, and he needed to be on the team. And we were let him keep his one deal a year, any business he did 100%, and still whatever he grew past that to ramp into his own business and not ask him for anything in return. I told Gary, I said, we need to slow this down and break it up into really bite-sized digestible pieces. And so then the position I took was scroll up a little bit. So these are numbers from yesterday's call, but I go to the top so they can see, and then more to the right because I can't. Go, okay, it's all right. So the average sales price was not 1.2. I don't know. Is that as high as it goes all the way to the top?
Yeah.
Okay. This wasn't my numbers yesterday that I did. Well, yeah, it was 600 GCI. Okay. Yeah, it was. All right. So now when you're telling someone, hey, Zach just hopped in here. When you're telling somebody, hey, I can do this, I can do that. And they obviously seen the video, they've seen stuff. They got to be able to do a little bit of math. It's very simple. There was a trust issue, right? And so I told Gary to be able to, break this down into smaller bite-sized digestible pieces. And we're going to have multiple meetings built around trust and providing value. So then I don't bring up EXP, and I told the team to quit sending the video out unless they really ask for it. Or say, hey, I thought you were going to tell me about EXP, and we're not even getting, we're talking about selling houses. We're talking about this, we're talking about that, because I might not even get into anything revenue share with these guys unless they ask me, because their limiting belief up there is what it is. And so I want to be able to already resolve those objections before they get brought up. And I will do that over time, and getting them to commit when they're asking me, what do you want from me? Then if I get all this, I said, you know what I want? You can keep your Visa card, you can keep your money. Yeah, I just want you to keep an open mind. Can you promise me that you can just keep an open mind? And as long as you do that, I will keep showing you how I'm, doing what I'm doing, closing over 1,000 houses a month, how, we have revenue coming in from 4 countries right now. And I'm sitting in Wichita, Kansas, and I'm generating leads in your country and creating business, but you're struggling to find it. So it's like, if I show you this stuff, can you promise me just to keep an open mind? I'm not going to ask you to join EXP. I'm not going to, I'm not going to try to recruit you or anything. And then they're like, wow, okay, yeah. So then, all right, so you're in the circle of trust. You want to be in the circle of trust? All right, well, by the way, here's what people normally pay for this stuff. So don't tell anybody, okay? And so then, we're going to start working on marketing with them. We're giving them feedback and then breaking down numbers like this. So yesterday in Virginia, this was the lady's numbers right here. This ain't her numbers because the 46 so is wrong. So I don't know why your sheet is different than mine. They both should be the same sheet or transfer over. But anyways, you guys can see, you can go through and just plug in their numbers, and you can directly see every single dollar and where it goes and what the net is, all the way down to every single sell per year, if they cap, if they refer an agent, all of that stuff to get to net numbers right here. And we have other spreadsheets, we have team spreadsheets, and we have all that stuff. But in Toronto, they're normally just single agents, they're not running teams. And so when I show them my team spreadsheet and stuff like that, not the revenue share growth one that you guys might be thinking of, but like our team spreadsheet, like the $1 million model template that we have out there, that breaks it down for how to get to $1 million, and you run that template right side by side your business. But it's too much data for them. So Jason's on here. So we had to build this one. and where does every dollar go to? How does it come back to you? And so getting to the cap right away, the 16,000, and making it visible straight at the top left for them. And then at the bottom, what Gary was showing you, then we could get into, you know, we do have some people that have teams or they are interested in rev share. So then I flash this at the bottom and I say, man, I wasn't even going to talk about this today. I want to make sure we just have up front the standard, you know, real estate agent business, you know, understood where you're going to be saving money, making money, or losing money. And obviously it looks like you're saving money, or you need to do 2 more deals to hit icon, you know, off last year's numbers, or you're right there. So it's like, there's no guess with the math, or they can't, you know, it's like tying Jello to a wall up there sometimes with the math and where they're at. And so when I got a guy that won't join over one deal, one guy I'm saving 400 grand, I said, no, we are breaking this down and we're going to address this straight from the money, because I don't care about the value. What they tell you they don't, because nobody up there adds any value. So they're not used to anyone adding value unless you're a team. And then they don't like the 50-50 split on top of that. And they got their own belief systems, but they'd rather stay broke. You know, I'd rather take, you know, 30% of a lot than 100% of nothing. But, you know, over time, you know, and conditioning these people in our database and educating them is a very important piece with the videos, and then the coaching and being able to have them have that open mind. So look, I only want 1% of your trust. With this open mind, can you give me 1% of your trust? Absolutely, Adam. If I'm going to get all this stuff in return, okay, great. Look, I have a great work ethic. I'm not the smartest person, you know, and I'm definitely not the sharpest tool in the shed. But one thing I do have is a work ethic. And so I'll earn your other 99% if your mind's open. Once I see that your mind is closed off or you're not open-minded, you know, I'll stop working with you or whatever, and we'll just know what it is, right? And so once we come to that agreement, it's like, what's the next step? So on Thursdays, I'm coaching, you know, a lady named Teresa, and getting her ramped up. And we're on like our 4th meeting. And every meeting that I've had with her, she's got more honest with me. She's told me what's more realer behind the scenes with the brokerage and with her, and family life or money or finances or marketing. And then it's like, I told Gary's like, hey, how's it been going with Teresa? Like last week or right before I went to Dallas, I said, I have everything I need right now and we will get that deal done. But it took me 5 weeks of meeting her once a week. And I needed some of that critical information to really help her get there. And that wasn't going to happen off 1 meeting, 2 meetings, watching a webinar and call me back and edifying again, another closer on the phone, which the closer is important. I'll send you this video out, guys. But anyways, we'll send you the video, Tierney, for sure. And so that hopefully, if you guys want that spreadsheet or whatever, we can get it out to you as well, because when you're dealing with single agents, to show them where every dollar's at, and if they're, you know, what it needs, what it takes to still icon, and then, you know, some of the indirect value with selling a house every year or capping and all that stuff is important as well. But we'll move on to the next part. But for us up here, that was important.
Yeah. So this right here, these steps right here, I'm just going to go over in CRM Grow because it's pretty basic. So this is how we set up CRM Grow. So Sarah and I, we had it set up a different way. And then we were doing some audits. I looked at some gaps. Some people were in disposition and in the right bucket. So we actually broke it down even further. So now we have all these different stages. Okay. So this stage, we got 19 deals pending. This means that it's an intro call set up by Smart Setter that hasn't occurred yet. Okay. So they're in my calendar for the future, and they book out about a week, 2 weeks in advance. And it seems like the further they book it out, the no-show, just like any appointment, happens, even though we confirm them and do all that stuff. But 19 people waiting for their call. We have 87 in this bucket that didn't show up to the first scheduled call that we're trying to reschedule. And then these 3 and 4 disposition, they had an intro call, right? But they're not committed to move forward. Actually, Jeff should have been, anyway. And then these people here had the intro call and they're committed. So they're either booked or we haven't booked them yet. Okay, and so now you can kind of see the funnel, how people are just moving along. So these are pre-discovery calls. So these are people that jumped on the phone with Adam, kind of a, hey, this is Adam, we got a scheduled call with him. He's busy, but I just want to make sure, I just want to introduce you. You're a good fit, right mindset. Let me get him on the phone. Okay, so that's a pre-discovery call. Now, these are people that had discovery call and not committed. So we Adam and I talked to them, and for whatever reason, they didn't see enough value. So we still drip on these guys. We still talk to them, like VJ, Angela. So we still, keep in contact with them. So these are people that had the discovery call and committed. They want to move forward, right? And then and here's another group of people. And I think Alan is the guy that did one deal, I believe, that Adam was talking about. But he's not a dead file yet.
Hey, we can't see your screen. We still see MindMap, unless anybody else sees actually CRM grow.
Oh, okay. Now
So
can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's all the dispositions here.
So yeah, go back to the front. Yep.
Yep. So you got intro. So these guys are the ones I was just saying that are pending. Then you got no show. They didn't show up to appointment. So this is where Sarah calls, to reschedule. Had intro call, not committed. So these are ones that had the call with me, but they didn't want to move forward. And one of these, I don't know if it was Mandeep. Some interesting stories there. The one was 400,000.
Well, all of these people right here was filling up our funnel and figuring out each step and stage and new hires, roles, responsibilities. And so like, we're just now getting this thing dialed in. And
yeah. So then had the intro call committed. So they're on ice waiting to be scheduled, or maybe they are scheduled. This is the pre-discovery call when I finished this call, or the intro call. And I just introduced them really quick to Adam. Here's had discovery call. So Adam and I both jumped on this call with the agent on Zoom, and they didn't want to move forward, have the additional call. These are ones that had the discovery call, and they're committed, meaning that they're either watching the video or they're doing some more research. So we're just touching them, putting the next step in place. And then here's a group that had several calls, and we got a few of these commitments already. So like Brian, he's coming aboard. I think Adam just talked about Teresa. Joe, he's still.
That Topeka guy is really interested, but so I'm having to build more, they didn't give a crap who Adam Bailey is, or like results or anything. Like I've really had to break it down, but this a lot of production there and things like that. But these people in the middle too, they're like these people on the discovery. Hold on, go back to the 7, 8. A lot of these people right here, they're waiting for events, right?
Yeah.
They're like, it's not that they didn't move over or this. They're like, well, it sounds great. I'm excited to kind of keep, talking to you. Let's hit this event. And so we're going to run an event up there, hopefully here soon, with the 3 different lines that I have up there, and it's going to be a mega event. That's been building the last 4 years up there, and they love belly to belly. They love handshakes, and they love breaking bread with people. And off of that, we'll get a lot of this stuff here flushed out. But I will tell you, if you ask me, I had someone ask me the other day about an ROI. I'm leaving almost 375 grand on the table right now. And just a couple of years ago, 75 grand, I'm like, whatever, making what I'm making with everything. And then it started growing. And then it was about 150,000 last year when, I made a little over 900,000 or whatever it was just off this arm or this piece of the business. And so when I'm looking at it and seeing it, it's growing towards 400,000. And then during the shift, and I never had any turnover really, Ray and Mark, and 2 people I thought would never leave. But, it goes to show you we're around that 4-year mark, some nutrition started setting in, and or a couple of the single agents that weren't building or whatever, that just it is what it is. So I've always had my 6th level unlocked forever. And then I had to figure out duplication and then help other people figure it out, and then rebuilt the Wichita team and took over some other projects. And so now what I'm focused on is frontliners again. But for the people that is looking at this with CRM Grow and Smart Setter, they're 2 different pieces of tech. CRM Grow, you can run, it's like any other CRM, it's worthless unless you're running data across it, buyers, sellers, whatever. And so we are adding agents in here, from other lead sources as well. And Sarah's nurturing them or calling them in conjunction to what Smart Setter is doing for us, right? But Smart Setter is driving the force with the good contacts, good names, good numbers, people it's raising their hands. So the data is good. And I'm starting to build mind share and influence with them. And then I'm nurturing them just like with buyers coming in. And so I think somebody asked me with the ROI in this, I think that I've really screwed up. Me personally, just by trial and error to get this thing figured out. Me and Gary went through it. And I think there's a good 9 people that if I knew what I knew when we started this with also my experience and everything, there's about 10 people that should have joined. And we can hop into some of the videos and show you the inner workings of CRM Grow, but this is stuff we had to figure out, things I wasn't doing or even thinking about until I'm like, oh man, like we gotta rethink this. So this guy right here was kind of the guy that, and some of the other, like when they miss an appointment, the video I hit them with the empathy, like, man, I was just sitting here thinking about you. I heard, you had to reschedule or canceled a couple hours ago or whatever. And it's like, people come back off of like that empathy video and worried about you. And so it works. That one isn't like very optimal like this. So these are some of the new slides that you're going to even see here that we're going to start presenting weekly on our normal webinar. But when Gary hits me up and we're like, hey, this Jeff guy, he runs a good business. Here's everything about him, but he didn't take the next step with you. And here's why. And so I'm like, all right, I know why he's not at least taking the next call with me. And I understand his business. And with this guy, him and I kind of already, was in alignment because I had some of the same beliefs he had early on, but scroll all the way down. So then we can text him this and it formats easy. He can hit the video from text, email, formats, everything. We whip these websites together just by a click of a button, and I can show you the back end, how fast we get these built. And we'll show you our material list, and we can push our material list and everything to you guys in our team, and you can use some of it, not use some of it, or it'll be like, it'll give you ideas to start building your stuff more than just, a touch every month or a drip system. And so like this guy, if you scroll down and read, like I wrote this stuff. I wrote this the day or a couple of days later after Gary told me what was up. Plus my ego was pretty big, closing 1,000 houses a year at that time, excluding even expansion teams, and I didn't have much time for any fake systems or MLM or whatever, that he's thinking this is fake or MLM or too good to be true, but definitely interested. Right. But I needed a few, problems to be solved in my business. And that's a fact. And I did, and it's like, what is revenue share when we're making $1 million? What is this when we're running this? And so I didn't understand it. And if you would ask me 5 years ago, if I'd be taking what percentage I'm taking on each transaction and I'd be doing what I'm doing now, I would say, I don't want that deal. And there's no way in hell I'd be doing it, but I want every piece and more of it. That's for sure. But just hit play real quick. And this would already kind of have to get handled on a call, guys, with him or whatever. And so he's not taking the next appointment. So he's just going to get dripped on videos that will help him build his business and different things where you can use your old stuff. Hopefully you're building new stuff, or we can push stuff to you as we're curating it and getting this out in. But 15 minutes I had to carve out because I would have already had to anyways. And so I looked at it like it's an appointment that should have happened. So we're going to make it happen, but we're going to make it evergreen and just hit play. I can't hear it. I can't hear it. Can you guys really understand what's going on in the world today? What's up, Jeff? It's Adam Bailey. I know I was trying to catch up with you. You spoke with Gary, and he had forwarded me your email, and I read through it. I completely understand your initial response to this model. I was an independent, for 8 years before I had looked at this model about 3 or 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And it took me about a year and a half to get my mind wrapped around it as well. I was closing 1,000 houses a year with about 20 people out of Wichita, Kansas. Doing very well. From 2012 to 2017, I was ranked 9th to 12th in the nation. Bouncing around those spots. And the team category in the Wall Street Journal crossed all brokerages and franchises and all of that stuff. However, I was looking for a solution to keep expanding and to be able to collaborate and drive revenue with other like-minded partners. I also owned a coaching company, at the time, showing people basically how we had set up our client care resource center, our inside sales team, how we were putting buyers and sellers through a longer cash conversion cycle than what real estate agents are used to be able to kick out quality appointments for our agents and our expansion team as well. So, I completely understand, how you're looking at it. Others have felt the same way, even myself. But what we've found is, just like I found for myself, and obviously what you're doing, you're watching videos, you're doing your research, you're continuously talking with us. That it's not that, right? And so I will break down that being a myth and lay it all out there. We're in real estate. We sell houses. I closed 900 houses last month, 900 houses on my network last month. And that was just the ones that I was paid on, because people that are uncapped 100% or already in icon status, then it's just that. So I'm excited for them, and this is why we're all here. It's not necessarily because of the split. It's to be the most profitable and to build equity in something. Not necessarily for myself. I had a few other partners, and we were doing well, right? And so profiting over $1 million. I worked my way out of the field in 2013. Was working on the business, not so much in it. As you can see here, I sold over $1 billion worth of real estate in an average sales market of 180,000. I mean,
So yeah, I mean these videos.
bounce around some other slides though. So right there, I'm pretty much building some social. So so this is important because he had the MLM stuff. So I'm building what I did right there indirectly, even though it was direct, but it's like I'm hiding the marketing to it. Like he wouldn't have went to a webinar, he wouldn't even take the call with me, but I was able to build influence and show, that there's social proof here, and I can create some mind share with him and get him thinking. I can see how long he watches it, because right here was what he wanted to get to. And I could have started off with that, but off of what he said and, what his feedback was, I was able to position myself in and get in alignment kind of exactly right where he is, and have some empathy towards that and use his name. On a webinar, you're going to see them slides. You could hear those same stats. It ain't going to feel the same. I guarantee that, all because I took 15 minutes and I had to do that anyways if he took the call. But this how we'll get him wrote back in, or the selling's already done. And so then I won't have to do it again. But you can just hit play on something like this real quick, because this is what he was interested in. Like it being a marketing piece of the pie. And then the remainder goes up to the international company, right? But the thing is, with these companies, they don't give you their financial structure up front, right? As Select Homes, we didn't. At any of my other coaching clients' business site, they didn't give it to the agents. They weren't that transparent, right? And so this money would always flow uphill, right? With this old traditional model. Then I use it could be office space, it could be the $500. We can skip through this. So then I use the example of the franchises, and then I talk about the independents. It don't matter, money flows. You just don't know where it goes unless you're at the top. EXP just gives you, the actual financial game plan up front. And oh, by the way, the reason they do that is because you are and can build equity and become an owner in this company and it's an equal opportunity company. And so then I get into the ways that we're compensated, some of the new slides that I built, that, you know, like, yeah, just if we, yeah, kind of just flick through a little bit. So we're okay. So now we're 14 minutes in. So I hit on some like key bulletin points that he would have got in a 30, 40-minute webinar, right? But we got them out a lot quicker, and they're all pointed towards what Gary had told me or relayed information back to me from. And then we already have his what? We got his numbers. And that's why it's important for them intake sheets to happen, because that like numbers, the numbers will be in the CRM Grow forever. And so now we can speak to them. And so right here, I break down all of his numbers, and I can't remember the carrot I hanged at the end of this thing, but let's just see how it finishes. You see what I say? Right there with you, man. Exactly where you're at one point in time. So I promise. So I promise something. Where's opportunity? I showed it because you're going to keep growing with the right people, do the right things in the right financial order. And so anyway, help you out with it, because I was right there. Okay, yeah. So exactly I got right there to the end of that. And then I did some editing on this one. And so then I bounced kind of through it, but yeah, I think there might be 2 more minutes left, I believe. How much time? Until somebody could show me the business. Okay, so we might, we might be like, okay, this part isn't automated, right? We can't build automation to this piece because it's just one time, right? However, we're looking at this as our kill shot. If we know that, well, I'm not doing this for everybody. You got me messed up, right? It's like, if we have a big producer, we have somebody that's interested, we have somebody that is raised their hand, but they're skeptical, or they don't believe, or we're having to, make an exception to the rule, to the system, to get them to me, right? I'm already going to have to pay for that with more follow-up with ISAs, or, more whatever, to try to track them down. So I'm top of mind, my name, tied to EXP at this very moment. I have the most amount of influence from far away that I'm ever going to have with this guy. And so if you can try to get these recorded, and, eventually, like I told Gary, if I can get them between 7 minutes and 10 minutes, that would be ideal. But I don't want it to feel like I'm rushing it to get it out like it's a presentation. Like the beginning of the one with Jeff is not necessarily exactly how I start my webinars, kind of slow like that. And, I'm doing it because I'm just like, hey man, I'm working on these slides. I'm just sitting here, so there's more receptible to that. Like, it's like they're having a conversation with me. I'm speaking directly to them. I'm using their name. They see content that's written specifically for them. And then boom, they can get on my calendar, or Jeff's, or Gary's calendar. So that, things like that, have helped. And then obviously having all the other videos in here, I think we're up to 80 videos right now. And then you can sequence them, build them out, do anything that you want to on the automation side. For sure. Like, here's the video that goes out to them when they set a call with me. Hey, just wanted to say hello. Sitting here working on some marketing stuff, and Gary told me you guys had a great call. I look forward to being able to learn more about your business and meeting you. I'll see you on our call. Bye. What I like to be able to do, even in that case, after watching it a few times and seeing what's up, I'm going to screen share or splice in a lot of the new marketing stuff and design stuff that I have going on. Like, show your marketing to them, show them, different things that they're going to experience or be interested in. Or the reason I make it about a marketing conversation is because everybody, could use more content. Everybody could use better quality leads. Everybody needs one more lead to find one more deal. And so that's why I'm sitting there saying I'm working on marketing, making it seem organic to their missed opportunities. Here's the empathy video. So if they miss an appointment with me, this don't go out right when they, miss it or cancel with us. And the way that I use my language in here, it works for all of them, but it feels real. And it goes out a couple hours later, or within the next day. What's going on? This is Adam. I just got word that you had canceled or couldn't confirm our appointment today. So I hope everything is okay. I'm just sitting here at my lake house working on some marketing and different projects that's allowing us to really thrive through this new market shift or economy that we're in. But anyways, I just was going to let you know, I was thinking about you. Hopefully everything's okay. And I'm sending my calendar link right now with this video. So go ahead and click that and find a spot that's going to work for you. It syncs directly to my calendar. I look forward to being able to chat. So boom, in and out, like hope everything's okay, and then scroll down, they can get on the calendar. Now, obviously there's my calendar right there too, how I run it through here. Even getting our whole network and everything set up in here, the modern team guys, and how we're going to be distributing information and managing stuff. It is going to be all moving in here because, there's some things, that I hope they evolve into, but when I looked at CRM Grow the first round, I said, nope, it's not it. And then when I saw round 2 with a lot of other stuff that we're not going to get into today, you guys can see that in the demo. But pretty slick right here. Scroll down, a little bit. And so even with my calendar, my Calendly calendar with the atomlivechat.com, I tied it in here and it just looks a lot better. Visually, everything. I mean, that's from when I was in the real producer deal, but go to like a PDF or something like that. So now we've got videos in here and we got, so yeah, just click that PDF right there, the rocket listing, one of them. So this is one of, this isn't done, but this is the worst one out of all of them. And so I built 4 different worry-free listing presentations and brochures and like the whole thing will go in here. This was the first draft probably like 3 months ago when we started, and like flip through it, and this is horrible in terms of how I wanted it to actually look with the color and the gray and more upscale, because when you look at the Home Buyer Advantage program, we nailed that with the KU blue and all that stuff in the messaging and the flow of like what we know works in the market that we're going back to. That's what we're getting set up. We're getting set up, and like it's 2012, 11, 13, round in there. And that's the market we're going to be in the next couple of years. So we got to prepare like that, content, presenting, everything that we're going to go through. And so putting it all back in here, the content's good, everything's right, but there's just a few things I didn't like, and it wasn't 100% done. But when you see that it's done, and for some of you guys, I would pull my stuff up, but I've dealt with some hacking and I got to get some things unpacked. But even the brochures, this is one old piece. Like, we can send this to our partners, or just think if you're nurturing someone or you're on a call with them. Let's just say I'm on a call and they're like, I don't got a listing presentation, I've been bombing listings. I'll be like, hey, here's what I'll do for you. All right, I'm gonna ask you for a couple, small commitments. All right, and I can send one of those things over to you. First of all, if I send this to you, please make sure that you don't send it to anyone. And because I normally charge real money for this, and one of my other partners, Gerbic, like he really does still charge $2,000 or $2,500 a month. You can't pay me enough money to coach with me. And I know it's crazy that I'd be willing to do it for time, but you don't understand compounding interest or geometric growth. But that's for a call on another day, so that I won't send it to no one, right? Boom. All right. The second thing is I got to go, and I'm going to fire this off to you, but I like to get our next call set up. Hey, pull that back up, by the way, Carrie. So, but like, I'm going to tell you real quick about the Home Buyer Advantage program is what I would tell them. The love it or leave it guarantee. Have you heard of any of these things? You have a value proposition now. And I already know that because I've been on the phone with them for a little bit, but so it's like, hey, I know we're scheduled for this, right? And you made this commitment to show up. You made the commitment not to show this to anyone or tell anyone, right? Good. All right, cool. Now, if you got time after you flip through that, text me back, thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know, if you thought it was slick, or, you could understand what I'm talking about now with value propositions and differentiating yourself from all these other frustrated agents. And you're going to need something other than just opening and closing doors or uploading it into MLS. Would you agree? And they're like, yeah, great. These are things like that are going to keep you in business in the next couple of years. So when they flip through this, they'll give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down, flip through it. And so I position the love it or leave it guarantee, and most people have never heard about that. So then they're interested from the agent standpoint. What does that mean? How's that? Like, how do you do that? Or, how's a home warranty deal going to work? And, understanding the market and becoming a trusted advisor is going to be very important. And so they see things like this. This is a Home Buyer Advantage one, the actual presentation. And then we have a whole guide to it that it's plug and play for the agents. And I don't know, maybe Gary can pull that up, but it walks them all the way through. This is actually one of the finished ones on the buying side, this PDF or PowerPoint right here. This one is. And then go like find the brochure. Is there a brochure uploaded? And then there's addendum and documents. So it ties all the way to the contract in a complete program. And we teach them how to position it and sell it. Is there not a brochure uploaded in here?
I don't think so.
Okay. I was probably waiting to get everything in there, but you can even go to the VA packet. Like it was right there. It was on the other page with that. So like, let's just say they need to hire some assistants or like that, they need an assistant. They need more assistants. It's at the bottom, the ultimate rocket, VA. So this guy is with EXP. His name's Justin, a younger guy, smart kid running, a great, VA company, or choose whoever you're going to be in business with or whatever. But you can send them something like that and flip through that real quick though. And get this to them. So instead of, going into a drive or whatever, and then you'll see if they click the link, if they watch the video to it or whatever, or you can break what I'm going to do with this to tell you what I'm going to do. Every single one of these, 50 ways to use a VA, leverage a VA. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do what I tell the agents to do on the brochures that we create. That's all tied into the worry-free stuff and like this as well as shoot videos around each step. So those 50 steps, we're going to shoot a 2-minute video, a 1-minute video, no longer than a 3-minute video, unless it, calls for it, no longer than 6 or 7 minutes on each of the 50 ways that they can hire this company right here. And it's not just your normal VA that you can get for $5, $6, $7, $8 an hour. Just like I believe, you're only paying Justin like a connector fee, a training fee, or a one-time fee. And then there might be some ongoing maintenance and stuff like that they do, for them, but you're actually getting them at a reduced hourly rate within, most other VA companies as well. And so then, but just think, man, it's like all of this stuff's hosted in here. You can fire it off. Imagine you send this off in a text. Gary can send this to me right now. He can send it to a group of people. Imagine you trying to upload a PDF or text it out or see who opened the link, clicked it, how long they watched the video tied to it. I mean, good luck. Like all this stuff is in real live time and easy. And all the analytics are there for sure. And so there's just a lot to it. We covered a lot today, guys, but Smart Setter cost me a lot of money. And I'm on a program with them that isn't even listed with them. They're kind of by referral only getting in. So if you call them or would like us to make the connection, let me know. If you end up signing up, I will get like 1 monthly credit applied to my bill, but I will tell you, I spend over $4,000 or probably right at $4,000 a month. However, you can build databases in different ways with CRM Grow. Like we do it through LinkedIn, we do it through surveying, or adding other data sources inbound and outbound to it. Because what I want to keep doing is building this right here, this database. Chasen has a big database of agents and stuff like that. A lot of my stuff was very inbound and built off Facebook groups over the years, and things like that. And I had more coaching clients than I could handle, like literally doing $500,000 with coaching, all organic, never paying for ads, anything like that. And I did have a database. I did have a little ClickFunnels site and all that, but it wasn't anything like this that I had to get into with. Yeah, I labeled some and segmented, but I didn't even want to get in coaching. It just spawned because of the need. And then I was like, I'm not a publishing company. I'm in real estate. And then when I went to a Tony Robbins event, understood about experiential learning and all that stuff. Then I was like, all right, I can do this because I'm already doing it. And so I look at this is kind of like experiential learning in a library, for sure. And so even if I record something on here, Gary's like, hey, I need this topic. This topic keeps coming up. And we have a few of these that need to get addressed. For an example, just speaking in Toronto, since we're on this conversation, brick and mortar is an issue just like it was in the United States. Oh, Regis, or you don't have brick and mortar. It's a limiting belief. They want to see some winners with some buildings, and I don't blame them. right? Like, let's see some winners, open some EXP hubs. I got one. A lot of my partners got one, but I don't ever go into mine, so I don't know why. I mean, it's the limiting belief for agents that don't go into it just for, them to meet there once or twice a week or whatever. So, but at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to do what's necessary, to attract or resolve a constraint if it is really a constraint and you cannot help them get over a limiting belief. So we have agents with buildings and hubs and stuff like that, and Regises that are super nice in Toronto. And so one of the next things that we got to do to help Gary out when this gets brought up, because I know how to handle it, because I'll tell him like my real story, what it is, but if Gary can't, if that is where they're stuck and it's hard to get them to that discovery call with me, he'd be like, hey, let me send you this quick video, show you some of our other partners. They're like right down the street. You probably can go shake their hand, and schedule a time to look, they around, which that's happened, and by the way, there's some footage in there with about Regis. And so we're going to have our guy go around and see our partners, show around, put together a good reel, and so then Gary can fire that off or whatever. And so you could be doing this when you're on the phone, with them in real life time, or somebody that's helping you prospect. And the automation piece to this, as you keep building this database, some of this stuff's on YouTube. But you got deals. Who did deals? Hey, go back to that video right here. So like when I took over the Toronto team, and literally we had agents ramping to the network, I was stuck holding the P&L, all the cost, everything. Partner moved to another, province and gonna start a thing over there. He was going through some personal stuff, and just lack of leadership, man. People perish. And as I'm stepping into this thing and already was investing in it for a little bit, before I understood what was going on, husband or a son and mother broke out in the network and this and that. And so boom, me and Gary took over. I would call a hot mess. And it's like, we have people in the network right now servicing leads and taking care of business. So we put together this quick video where Jared's doing some training on This Is Commissions Inc., which is great. And so then when we're looking at our team or getting them to invited to one of our meetings, like a Canadian Conversion Wednesday meeting, we'll open it up to people and we'll show them like a quick video like this that Jared already did training, and it was private to like 3 or 4 of our people, and it was good. And then I went and tagged 1 minute, hey, this is what's up. You might be in the network. You might have looked at us or be considering us, but we have a problem. And can you help us? And we still have people hitting us up today from this email that went out when the shift started, first happened. But it's basically me talking up the service, and it don't matter if you're in my network already in business with me. I don't want any of your business, but if you need any, we got some. And so it's definitely created a lot of conversations and interest. But for the people that are looking, well, what's your tech look like? I've heard, the leads are horrible and all this and that. It's like, let's start showing them how AI is communicating, how Sarah Alicia is converting these people, and you're talking to them up there and matching them with the Toronto agents. Let's show them, what some of the sales training looks like, and not hold it back and wait till they join us, and they'll just slowly, hopefully become conditioned by it to when they follow up with us or Sarah follows up with them. Man, I remember Adam, he was here last year. I seen him speak. Sure, I will take that meeting. We just had one of those happen. It'd been a year. He's seen me speak. He's heard whatever, turned it down. But through seeing videos, through Sarah outbound and us being able to track the algorithms with him, boom, he took it, and he had a real problem in his business. And we tried to address it. And there's just some other limiting beliefs with his mom and the brokerage, and just, he's just negative type of guy anyways, but, but at least that opportunity's there, and we furthered that relationship. And then I told him, if you don't make any changes, this is what you're going to experience. And so he's going to have to, we'll follow up with him and we'll see where he's at. But I'm always leading with value with him. But he got to a point where he didn't want to have an open mind anymore, because he's like, because we get to a point too, where I know, all right, they're just taking versus like the conversation is shifting towards a business conversation. And we were getting there. And then finally he knows that I know that he knows, because we're all not stupid. Why can't I just pay Adam, is what he told Gary. I just want to hire him. Why can't I just give him money? It's because you cannot hire me, bro. I am all in with the 100 and some people that join my company every single month, and I can't even keep up with everything that I have going on. So why would I take your money when I have other people that are actually joining that actually deserve my attention? You know what I mean? And so, however, if you hit that join button, I'll give you everything I got. If you lean into me, I'll lean into you, but not all money is good money. And I'm after money that compounds. And the thing that you don't get, sir, is I can help you, and I know I can help you, but are you going to go help other people? Probably not. And if you partner with me, I am going to build through you, whether you really build or not, and getting them to understand that. And it's powerful. And so anyways, hopefully that helped you guys today with understanding CRM Grow a little bit and what's up with that. So any questions? I know Tierney and them had to get off, but Zach, you got any questions, or you kind of got it?
No, I'm good. I mean, it makes sense. It's logical. I got to jump here too, man. I got an appointment in 20 minutes, but yeah, it was awesome.
Cool.
And I want to talk to you more about it, obviously.
Yeah. Anytime, Zach, you want to reach out to me, you know, we can set up a one-on-one. I can walk you through this stuff. And, you know, once you get set up too, I could transfer files and do all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to recreate anything. And you kind of use our templates as a reference.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously I want to have some questions about getting started and all that stuff, but you know,
Okay.
Definitely understand the concept and the flow. And
Well, you can send you the referral link to, or did I send it to you for CRM Grow? He can drop that in the chat for you, or we can.
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, I'll send it right now.
you have my email address by any chance?
I don't. If you want to drop it in the chat, I can.
Yeah. We'll do that.
So I'll convert this and then I'll send you the link, Gary, but can we make sure everybody on this call gets it, or Sarah, whoever is going to distribute this?
Yeah, I'll let Sarah distribute it.
Get it?
Let's see. Actually, this is on your Zoom, so you'll get the notification.
I'll send her the link then, or whatever.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Because pulling some of the numbers like I'm doing, did the building and empire numbers come back to me? Because I think I sent them to Sarah, but my email has been, this way is what it is.
Yeah. She sent them back.
All right. Zach, are you good? Or what do we like?
I'm good. I have more questions, but I got to jump.
All right, me too. Well, we're gonna huddle with our normal meeting real quick, catch up for a minute, because normally this is the time we're knocking out some of our team stuff. I just want to make sure you were good.
Yeah, man, I'm good. And I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the time. And, you know, it's just really, for me, it's just a matter of implementation. I get the concept.
It's well, hopefully you understood. It's just a little bit like each
That's
day,
it. Yeah.
you know, and, you know, hopefully you have some running mates that be like, all right, you can do this, I can do that. Because if I didn't have Gary, this thing would be not this far developed.
How did you guys hook up?
He tried to recruit one of my icon agents out in Washington.
I
Yeah, it's perfect timing. Yeah, it was actually the impeccable timing. Ken got any better. Yeah, it's perfect.
I love that. I love that, man. Serendipity.
Yep.
Well, you just gotta be, man. You just gotta keep that vision out there. It's like, if I'm not pushing that vision and Chris don't see it frequently and see me growing, he would never tell Gary, hey, I'm not doing any of that stuff really, but I do have a couple 100, 300, 400 people from Michelle Wilson. And if it worked for her and my other partner's doing it, you might want to talk to him, you know, just so it's like what I told Gerbic when Gerbic was like, man, I'm kind of slowing down in this and that. It's like, whatever you focus on grows, you know, so we got to keep production up, but it's like, we also got to be casting the vision and showing what's up with this, Zach. Because just imagine if I didn't mention it to you in the car. Are you on this thing? Are you on this right now looking at it? No.
Right.
It'd just be secretive. So you got to talk about it here or there, keep it a focus.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, man. Absolutely. It's I'm definitely receptive to it. And I mean, it's a good system to make this happen. I mean, agent attractions on my top of my list.
I love it. I told people this every couple months, you need to text Gary. What do you guys got going on whatever side of the business? Because a lot of people don't see it or whatever, because until we get those spreadsheet dialed in, I'm not gonna be making a lot of posts about it till I might have it predictable. You know, I want to see a predictable business, and that's what I'm trying to put together for everybody.
Awesome. I appreciate it, guys.
Well, Zach. I
Peace
just
out.
emailed you too, so reach out anytime.
I will do that. Thanks, Gary.
Okay.
Thanks for the
Yeah,
time,
no
man.
worries. All right,
Later.
no worries. All right, late.
All right, guys. So roll into let's take just a quick snapshot of whatever we need to look at, because I'm up against time. Got to hit the road, and obviously, you guys know I have no computer stuff today. But this hacking deal is real, though. Let me let me think about this real quick. Go ahead and start, Gary, and then but let me think about the.
Yeah. So Jason, this is the new sheet that you added, right? The summary.
Oh, this sheet right here.
Yes,
This one. This is
yes.
badass.
Yeah. So this one, this is nice, have sponsored 1 to 4 agents, 22%,
Mhm.
5 to 9 agents, 2 yeah. So this breaks it down. Capped, uncapped.
And this is updated,
Yes.
Yes.
even from the numbers I sent out to Sarah.
You just pulled this, what, yesterday from, when'd you pull this, Jason?
Earlier today. So
Earlier
yeah,
today?
yesterday.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so it should be updated. Yep.
There are blank items, since I don't know how to get those numbers.
What numbers?
Right here.
Like, yes, on column F.
Column F. Oh, right here.
Yes. So as you can see, there are blank items. So I couldn't actually get those numbers.
Damn.
Like,
So currently offboarding with EXP. So there's a tab in there for that, right?
yes, I assume that those are the new agents for this month. For this month, that's what I just.
Yeah, if you did it just a couple hours ago, I think we were at 116 when I did it. I thought that, never mind. Onboarding, thought it was saying offboarding. I was about to be like, hold on here.
Yeah, no, this is onboarding. Yeah, onboarding.
Agent listed in joining status. They used to let us know that, and I think it's coming back, but I don't care about that number. We can just keep what actually occurred. And that's why grabbing that probably, I don't know, around the rev share time or whenever we see high. I don't like, however, it's going to be easiest for our partners to do this once a month to export and then plug it into their spreadsheet with one of their staff people. We charge them to get it set up, but there's not much tech involved unless you need to jump in and tinker it and wire it up or mess with it a little bit, and so, rev share pays or cuts off on the middle of the month, pays no later than the 19th and all that stuff. Right. And so I like it, but or they might be able to do it once a week, except the money, won't change. There's no like real actually numbers moving on enterprise, except what you're seeing right there with the new agent count and then seeing the money go up and stuff like that. So, I mean, I guess they could do it weekly. I like it. I love this. So you took that spreadsheet that we had before that Gary got over to you, and you definitely turned it into a summary. I like this right here. And then the dashboard still kind of looks the same, or does it populate like different over there too?
Mostly the same. Didn't change anything
Okay.
there.
All right. Yeah. Can you click on the dashboard again, Gary?
Yeah, right here.
No.
Oh.
Okay. All right, scroll over a little bit. Man, we got punched in the mouth, man, last month. But that was from that July.
Yeah.
We felt it. I mean, we're coming back. We're back up for sure. I mean, if I go in enterprise and look and the real live numbers, but I think this one, Jason, you got it nailed. I think besides.
And then what other new sheets did you add, Jason?
Oh.
Anything else?
No, hold on here. I'm gonna go over to the, let me move this. I'm gonna go over to the right. No, he just took some of the stuff that, go a little more to the right, sorry. Okay, yeah, right there. A little more. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I can actually see the numbers, not just a pie. So the pie is cool, but then the summary to actually break down the data. This is it. Puerto Rico, Mexico, Australia, California. I don't know what IL is. India or no? Huh. What country is IL?
I don't know.
I think Israel.
Israel.
I've encountered Israel before
Okay,
when
that
looking
makes
at the
sense.
data.
That makes sense. Man, this thing is slick, man. This is badass. All right, so go back. Hold on. All right, go back to the right a little bit. This number, okay, I'm just trying to see if maybe there's a way to get it in one screenshot. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, yeah. So active. All right, active, inactive, capped versus uncapped. Okay. Man, the only other thing that we're missing that I wish we could figure out is how, like, people's overall, like, what's their overall group size? I guess from these leaders right here, we could start to hit them up. Like, Sarah could always just call and be like, what is your number today? You know what I mean?
Is
It's
that
like,
what this is over here? No,
that's
no,
only,
that's
that's only personal recruits.
okay. That's just their front. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, personally sponsored. And then it's like, how big is that group?
Right.
All right. Okay. I kind of like that. You nailed it, Jason. I'm just gonna have to think through a couple more things here, but I think we're definitely on the right track.
And then did you add any other sheets or that's it, Jace?
Yes, I have the revenue share data, but I'm still working on the revenue share analysis. That's actually the second page of the document you sent me last time. So I'm still getting the data or completing the data from the enterprise report.
But
So
hold on.
suppose
I mean, oh, you're trying to see how much I got paid off at every single level so far, or what?
yes, there is actually the document you send me has like a report, a revenue share analysis. So by level,
Yeah.
the percent revenue share, and
So
then
what,
also
so
there's
what,
a little
so
chart.
what was this right here? Was this, for the year, or help me understand what I'm looking at right here?
Uh, so far the data that I've got is for 2018 and some months for 2019.
Oh,
So
so
I
yeah,
will
yeah, I
have
understand.
yes. Okay,
I was,
better.
yeah, no, I get it. I was gonna say, like, our sales are way higher than that. And so,
Yes,
but you're
yes,
grabbing all the old data too to have year
yes.
over year growth and stuff.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how you get it to format year over year, or what would be the point of even
Yes.
seeing some of that. I like it though. I like it. Man,
Cool.
we need frontliners like nobody's fucking business, man.
I know.
How did this week go on the frontline game?
We moved some more people into the
Huh?
hit list. We moved some more people into the hit list.
I mean, yeah. So we got,
So we look like we got like Brian. Um,
where's that other spreadsheet at that I talked to him about? The one page well chart? Because that's what I'm gonna start using, because this pipeline, I have to go in here and look at stuff. And that spreadsheet, that one page spreadsheet, like, that's a well chart spreadsheet. I think I sent it to you, Jason. Remember I showed it to you that one night?
Yeah. I have to find it. I have it though.
I think
So
I think it might have already been built, and so maybe we didn't, because remember it started formatting, but maybe it was giving me problems when I had the hacking issues, but or it wasn't doing something right and dry. But this is it right here.
yeah.
So Jason, with this sheet, it should be pretty simple. So it's like, FLQAs are over here, and you understand what FLQAs are, right? That's our 20 people, and then the unqualified would be like the other, 8 people or whatever that you see on enterprise. And then you can see the agents get needed is to unlock level 2, you need 5 agents on your front line. So you don't need to mess with those numbers at all, because that's what actually has to occur to unlock levels to maximize revenue share. It is F, that number is set by corporate. And then, G is the levels in terms of it, what percentage is going to be paid out on that deal, paid out like with that partnership. So that stays the same, but going down here, the freedom number is, it's like, okay, let's say I want to make $1 million a year. What do I need to do? Or how many people do I need in my network to be able to make $1 million residual a year? And you can see down here on the left, the $800 annually at like lines 35 and 36. Yeah. Yeah. Like, it was a safe rule of thumb that, anywhere between $700 to $800 per agent, per year, like we'd make, whether they were selling, not selling, that was just the averages, right? And due to all of the things that we went through, COVID, economical things, and then also as the network grows, it's not all going to be filled with top producers or medium tier producers, or they may or may not be here because of me or like whatever. And so you lose, some like of that in there. And so I would like to be able to adjust that number like to whatever it really is in real life time, because I can do that on my other spreadsheet. And we're going to move on to some of those, next, but they're pretty dialed in. If you saw the revenue share building an empire sheet where I can predict my income, and I've predicted it every single year literally within $4,000 or $5,000. Last year I was off by 15,000 or 20,000, but I'm gonna be way off this year because it's not gonna even be close. I mean, we're just obviously gonna hang on and still grow, but I want to be able to show actual numbers right there, whether it's $500 per agent per year. So then my freedom number it stays accurate, even if it moves. Yep. And so you take, that 800, let's say you make it, let's say you want to make it, like, I don't know, $100,000 residual passive income, right? You divide that by 800. That's how many agents you're going to need in your network. And I would tell people you're probably going to need at least level 4 unlocked. So you're going to need at least personally sponsored 15 people, good agents or leaders, or get business deals done with them, and then build through them or tap root through them, to add the rest of the agents, that you're going to need to hit that 100 grand. And if it isn't $800 per agent per month, they're going to have to do a lot more and add a lot more agents than that. And so I would rather talk in terms of like reality off what I'm seeing. And I know I'm in the Midwest and up and down it. So my average, per agent drags down. It is basically that same number that you created with per month. Do you remember doing that for us on that other spreadsheet?
Yes.
On the dashboard. So basically that's the micro number. This is the macro one.
Okay.
Now, when you look at me prospecting, Gary, like I can have this up and my people will be hot right in here, and I can have this up. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to get lost in no funnel. Don't matter who we're speaking with. I'm always going to look at these top people, this hot category. It don't matter with the hit list, who needs to do what, where that thing's sitting there. I know I'm going to be sitting and thinking about this person, or I need to probably go shoot a video or do this or that. And so I'm going to use this one with our, it's kind of like when I made calls and everything is in Boomtown or any other CRM that we use. I had to get my people that I had agency with, or I was, they were in the hot bucket. I had to see them on a whiteboard for some reason. even though
Yeah.
they were like in the database, right? So it's kind of like I need this just personally for me being visual. Like I got to see it popping up every day. And with Sarah doing what she's doing to CRM Grow, what you're doing, and I hop in and out of spreadsheets, that's what's needed for me. And then I'll just put them on there and it's like I'll have their
Yeah.
number. I'll know what to
So
do. And then I'll still follow this thing. You know what I mean?
yeah. So we just pop like the top whatever.
Right.
Yeah, on here.
What is there on that one to do? Go back to that hit list. What's there to do for me to do on that? Because I'm coming back from build. I've had a hell of a week.
Yeah. Really nothing. I mean, it's really just setting the next appointment for most of the people have been watching the video. And so we just gotta set that appointment.
With me?
So, no, well, yeah, for the discovery call.
All right.
Yeah. So we next week should be a pretty strong week because we probably got about what, Sarah, about 5 people that are watching the video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we're having
Yeah, we got. Well, I mean, we got to have a strong week. We were building into a strong week right before build, and we're building into EXPCon, and so like getting this event calendar put together with us, and so the messaging, because some of these people we could already been planting the seed. Hey, Adam's gonna be here. Hey, like, can
right.
you come? You know, so and that's just me doing a better job at
What about yeah, thanks for bringing that up. What about this this every Thursday? When's that going to start? So we can start inviting people to that live training or whatever you're going to do.
gonna be just like the webinar to break down the model, except with our story or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
When
the
you
model-
start that, is that 2 weeks out, a week out?
I mean, we can shoot for, the thing is that I gotta make a decision on it because I want to start it next week. Here's the thing. Normally I replace it with building an empire call. But right now, I think if we replace it with building an empire call, Matt, and the feedback we got from, our top agent expert thing is we can change the format of that call to more of a Q&A with upper end people, not just training on role playing with building an empire stuff, because you're doing iron sharpens iron, right? And where do you see any of the ballers or medium tiered ballers getting together on a call that whether they make it or not outside of like Mike's team stuff? That's kind of like a Q&A, right? Like a little mastermind. And
Right.
so Matt was like, oh, I'll lead it or whatever. And so I was thinking, man, do we turn that Thursday call into something like a little mastermind for a while to test it and or change the presentation date or pick another date and then just always present like still like I have, because normally I just present for 4 or 5 months or to get through a sprint or two. One year I went 6 months and we always get a
No,
bump from it.
So are these for our current agents or just for an invited outside agent?
The one you're talking about is for like just like the webinar to break down the model to
Gotcha.
tell my
Yep.
story, to
Yep.
highlight other value. Now the one that I brought up to you would be directly for the network.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because some people were like, man, we want more access to Adam, but I feel bad just getting one-on-one with him. Or like, where are all of you guys at? Like, I got them together, people speaking and meeting people, and they're like, man, I want to hear more of you or whatever. And so they're like, asking for some more high level versus like Michael went Adam to role play again or a new person or whatever. And so you're doing iron sharpens iron, and I love it because you're also putting some accountability with metrics behind it as well and can get into that same stuff. And what we need to do is get the building an empire stuff, the whole system from the hit list to the well charts to everything that I can normally answer on them calls and get it in a video and get it into Kajabi with Mike and shooting that or whatever. And so, Matt just brought that to my attention yesterday. I need to speak with him about some ISA stuff, but I would say next week, like there's a few slides I got to finish up, but I don't have it approved by corporate yet, but I mean, we can start to let it rip to present at 1 o'clock. I'm supposed to coach Teresa up on that hard call because she moved us this week to next week. And I got to move that coaching call that's right up against that 2 o'clock on Thursday, and free up some time just for Q&As or different things. Like, I know how this goes, but I would say next week, like we're presenting it. And if we want to slide it in the same slot I normally do, let's do it. But I have this other call lingering out here that, I want to be able to put together. And then with iron sharpens iron, kind of do a little, like, we have to do something with it when the calendar is getting built and we're getting to a point where like things got to get on a sheet, and we're like, it's just, we're gonna make some changes too with it. So, but I would start giving the link out, and I need to go into, we're gonna use my personal meeting room, like not the one that Brenda has us on or whatever. And so we're probably, we need to build a reoccurring one for sure. Or we'll just give mine out, my personal link for right now. And that's what will be at that time. And don't tell them it's my own personal link, but we're going to do it. We'll kick it off next week. And then it could change, but for now, we're going to go on a sprint with presenting. So.
Okay. All right, cool. And then on the ISA side, let's see. Yeah, looks like, we're under contract with a mall. And then we have some few other ones that are, so, this funnel is starting to develop too.
Yeah, Jared said he caught up with her.
Yeah. Other than a mall, I think that's the only thing that's like physically under contract. Everything else is kind of moving forward. So a mall, Topeka are doing great. Topeka kind of had a rough start with technology, but now that she's in it,
Yeah.
she's doing good. So, and Alicia, don't forget to reach out to. I know Leslie has COVID, but don't forget to reach out to what's her name, Beyonce. Yeah, to get her going as well. Because I guarantee you, Topeka Mall, they're gonna start lighting fires underneath some of these agents' butt because they're starting to close deal and make traction. So, once we get one going, it's a snowball effect, right? Everybody starts to see there's business and they got, pick their game up. So,
Right.
so if we get two new players in there that are hungry, this thing could really take off. So let's get them on board here, ASAP, and get them started next week. And I'll set up their profile. You just got to get their information to me.
Yeah. I already messaged her, so still waiting for her response.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, that's all we pretty much have, man. So if you got to knock out some other stuff, and then
Yeah,
Sarah,
Sarah,
the primary focus, obviously, we talk about this every morning, but it's to get those discovery calls set up for next week.
Right.
So Jason, you feeling better?
Yes, I'm feeling better.
All right, just making sure we ain't got to send in the COVID team to save you or anything. All right, so cool. Well, we're getting the spreadsheet, pretty moved along. I like it. So I just like, how soon do you think we could start to be duplicating, some of it where we could bring in like 3 more people or whatever? And it's not a lot of time, but thinking in terms of like plug and play, and they could self-manage unless they need some, oversight, once you help them get set up, of course, and do some training with them or their person. Like, how far away do you think we are from doing some of that?
We're as long as I'm done with what I'm doing with the dashboard.
Right.
So probably as early as next week
All
we
right.
can start.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, because I'm gonna kind of I've been showing it off a little bit because other people kind of run stuff. I had this before, kind of just let it set for a couple of years. Other people have had other people redesign it, but I like where we're at with this one. And so people are asking for it, but it's like, it's like whatever I roll out or say, it's like, I want to, for the most part, be almost done without having to go back and rework, or it can't scale. So I appreciate that. And we'll get through the holiday weekends and then weekend, and pick back up next week with you guys. Sound like it's going to be a busy week for all of us. So I appreciate all you guys. I mean, I know I kind of been distant, but building into build. I probably have one of my bigger events ever, strategically and execution wise. Some of it luck, some of it plan for sure. But I mean, this thing is developing into something, nice. 2,500 agents later, we just got to be able to protect the home turf again and the actual fuel of the business, which is the money, and in that frontline game. And so I appreciate you guys, making that a priority and getting, focusing on that and staying on that, as well, because none of this stuff what can happen or maintain if that isn't protected. And I know that we'll probably. I think Dominique got up and going. I need to catch up with him. I got another guy in Vegas up and going. So I've snapped in a couple people. I'm definitely on it. I'm making a push. Like they moved their license over. That like the guy in Vegas, like he'll go FLQA, really quick. The other guy is a little younger, but he's been prospecting and following my scripts for a long time, set a lot of appointments. So was he on your call on Monday, Gary?
What was his name? Donovan?
Yep, Donovan.
Yeah. Donovan's always on the calls. Yeah, he's always engaging. He's doing good.
All right, cool. So he's another one. So I got two of them, up there, and there's no reason. And I'll just put it out here. There's no reason for the amount of investment that is going on with the leads, resources, people, like everything across the board. Why, the Adam Bailey Listing Network shouldn't be at the top of the list, leading in like some of these categories. And granted, sometimes you just don't want your number up there to compete with your people, right? And especially if you're selling or taking deals from them, but that isn't the case, I think, here. And so I'm looking forward to getting this stuff dialed in with you guys. And I know what we're building, Gary is absolutely right. It isn't just like a one-off, type of thing. It's like, it's a full front to end system, and it will be just predictable and keep pumping oil once we, get it going. And we're close. The thing is, when you do something like that, right people, big investment, great execution and all that stuff. So I appreciate you guys, and, looking forward to, getting it across the finish line going into, 2023. So, but you guys have a good, Labor Day weekend and all that stuff, unless anybody has any other questions for me or anything like that.
No, red is the color.
Red.
You're probably thinking red what?
Oh,
Red.
yeah. Yeah.
Red Lambo. I want a bow in it for Christmas.
Okay. All right. All right. I got you.
And then you can have a black one side by side.
Well, hey, no problem, man. I got you.
No, man, it's been fun, man. I want to say thanks to you guys too, Jason, Alicia. I know I'm hard on you guys sometimes. You guys think I'm probably a dick, but you guys are getting the job done, and you guys are doing awesome.
Because Gary's got to be able to answer to me, so we all got to kind of.
So you guys are doing great. Alicia, thanks for being coachable. Thanks for taking directions and making hard turns. Sarah, both you guys. Jason, thanks for doing what you do. I mean, I love the spreadsheets. I mean, even the other ones that we're doing for our accountability. I want to increase those too, because like I told you guys before, anything we're building here is going to be duplicated for the network. And so we just want to make sure that we're representing on a high level, and this is definitely a high level. So let's keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right, you guys.
Yeah,
Adam,
thank you,
I
Gary.
appreciate.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, appreciate you, Adam.
Yep.
Thank
All right.
you, them.
Later, guys.
All right, later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.